2014 Dyna Wide Glide. As far as I know, 211 cams that are in it. I think it's got the Rhino system. I'll double check. I haven't even looked at any of that. I wanted to run it up anyway and see what it's doing now. We've made about 78 horsepower, 101 foot-pound of torque, around at the same time. Yep, no drama. Front cylinder AFR is rich, right, all the way. Rear cylinder is rich, all the way. So we're already lethargic on throttle response, too much fuel. To give you an idea on the front cylinder, we're down to 10. This is an overlap from 2 runs, but we're under 11.0. Down here, yet again, we're under 11, at 11. Man, we've come down to 10.3. So this is what I mean. We are meant to be up here on the dotted line. So if we're on top, up here, we're running leaner. If we're down here under the 13.0, we're running richer. This thing is fat all the way through. It was just lethargic the whole time. So I could get in and tidy this up and get true figures for what it is. This is an engine build coming through. This thing is going to be an absolute ball terror for the street. I know the owner's going to be stoked. It'll definitely lift the front wheel. But this is just absolutely insane how fat this is. Now, how the tune came about, I don't know. I don't know the history. It doesn't matter. I just wanted a pre-run to establish where we are as a reference point. It's not true factual information of where the best part of the tune could be, but how it's been presented in the shop. This is what we've got. If this was all tidied up, we'd definitely see over 85 easy. I think it would be heading up probably about 106, somewhere around that sort of thing for what it is as a combo. But yeah, that's our start point. Let's get on with it. This engine will be built over the sort of course of the next coming weeks, and then I've got to go through and do a custom dyno tune to it and get it happening. So I will do content on this build. It's a 103 cubic inch going to 107. It's going to be a bloody neat thing. So stay tuned, more content to come, and yeah, we'll chat to you soon. Check out how fat that table is. There is a lot of fuel going into that. You wonder why it's running like shit. That's the front cylinder, and that's the rear. Like, not that we're going to see these areas, but holy shit, like there's a lot of fuel in here. This thing would have been running like, well, it was running like shit. Right, I'm going to fix up 100%, just run it and give an idea of what we can do. Alright, so this is for education purposes only. I've pulled fuel out of 100% throttle area, only to give you an understanding when you pull fuel out when it's rich, how it alters through your torque and horsepower area. I'm not going in, I'm not going to spend a lot of time fixing this up, but I just want to do it as a rule of thumb so people can understand if your bike's running fat, one, yeah, it's running rich, it's heavy on fuel. However, you are lacking and robbing horsepower out of the bike. And also your fuel economy's up to shit too. So what we can see is, only just by pulling that amount of fuel out, and this isn't on the money, this is just quick. The green line is brand new torque and horsepower as we go. So obviously in areas where it's not corrected on the money, it's going to shift. However, we've already got an availability of horsepower and torque. Now it's only bumped up marginally, don't get me wrong. That was the first hit. If I went through and perfected this area and corrected it all, we would see the next line work off further than the green. So hey, yeah, we're only a horsepower, only, you know, foot-pound of torque, but we are changing, and this is where it comes into, you know, correction with tuning. We're going to see a lot more happen through those curves. Now, like I said, this is only educational. This is only an area of the bike that you might use down the drag strip. However, this works across the board when you tidy up your actual tune. So as you can see, red was our first run, right? Then we got blue that's overlapping or overrunning off that. So there's obviously a marginal difference in this. This happens through every throttle state area for your rideability when your tune is absolutely up the shit. So we've gained, you know, horsepower-wise, just to say, argument's sake, there's 5 odd horsepower, you know, a couple of foot-pound of torque. But This was just having 3 goes at fixing the table. It's not right on the money, but you can tell as we work with your fuel, air fuel mixtures, you're getting more rideability out of the bike. I could go a little bit further with this. It would work a little bit further down the bottom, which is great. That's where these cams want to work. However, on a spread, this has worked considerably well for what it is, but it shows the behaviour of change in your tune. This is why we do what we do. People say, oh, you're not going to run my bike down the track. It's not about that. It's your rideability. Every bike has a potential to capitalise for what the configuration is. Unfortunately, it's not capitalising in its configuration due to the tune. So you can have your cams, your intake, you know, your exhaust, but if your tune is shit, the bike is going to run like shit. So anyway, that's just one part of the area. This is the wank factor that everyone wants, is a sheet. You know, you can see there is a noticeable difference in it, you know, across the board. So that's just food for thought for the day. We're not going any further. This bike's getting pulled down, but I wanted to explain that it came in shit. It can be better. The bloody owner would have loved it more if it was done right, but we are going into a different configuration, so a whole different build. Anyway, cheers.